evening, cult members of Welcome to Pop Culture Cult. I'm Sean.
I'm Janice.
And welcome to a trailer reaction that nobody else is going to do.
Hey, we got some traction off the last one.
Yeah, that's true. And this is right in our wheelhouse. This is called The Last Duel. The Last Duel. I will just say, I've watched this trailer. She has not. But I will just say Ridley Scott.
Yeah. Okay. Is it Ridley Scott?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So here we go. The Last Duel. And go. Maybe. Ooh.
There we go. Oh.
There is only one question that matters. Do you swear on your life that what you say is true?
My father told me my life would be blessed with good fortune.
Well,
I'm
it's the Middle
married.
Ages.
I was a good wife.
Epic mullet.
And then was judged and shamed by my country.
I say before all of you, I spoke the truth.
Okay.
All right.
A most unspeakable charge has been brought against you.
Jacques Legree entered our home. He attacked me.
The
Well,
accusation is
he's a
false.
bad guy.
Bad guy facial hair. You can
Right.
tell.
The truth does not matter. There is only the power of men.
This should be settled quietly.
I'm innocent!
I request a duel to the death.
If you lose, your wife will suffer dire consequences.
One of us has lied. Let us let God decide.
You do not believe me.
I am risking my life for you.
You are risking my life so you can kill crime.
I tried really hard to sneeze.
The penalty for bearing false witness is that you are to
That-
be burned alive.
Because
I will
you're a
not be
witch.
silent.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow. Okay.
Right in our wheelhouse.
Matt Damon's epic mullet.
Right.
Ben Affleck's
Blonde.
blonde hair. Is this the first movie that the two of them have been in since
No,
Good Will
Dogma.
Hunting? Oh yeah, Dogma.
They're the angels.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Adam Driver. Okay, you're gonna have my attention. Adam Driver, Ben and Matt. You're
Right.
gonna have my attention. I really love the two of them as actors, and I really like Jodie Comer, who plays Eve in Killing Eve. I feel like we're in that point where she's gonna, the stuff that she did because of Killing Eve is now gonna start to come out, and we're gonna be seeing a lot more of her and things because she's freaking amazing in that show.
She is, but it's been going on for a hot minute, and so it's hard to do stuff when you've got a TV series going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know when they filmed this, but it's been a while since we've gotten to Killing Eve. So
I know they're working on it. I know they're working on another season of Killing
Yeah.
Eve. But the thing, for us, we're part of a medieval reenactment group, and so we have more than an average understanding of the Middle Ages and what life was like in the Middle Ages, and
what armor was like,
what
and
armor
what
was
fighting
like,
was
and stuff
actually
like that.
like,
And this all feels like it. Now it says Charles the Fourth's reign, Charles the Sixth reign in England, and it says based on a true story.
Yep.
So we're in that time period where the English court all speaks French. Everybody has French names. like all of that time period. So when people are going to see this, they're going to see all these French names. The French banner was up at the tournament and stuff like that. And so I think some people are going to have some issues with that because they don't know that at this point in time in English history, it's all pretty much run by the French royal families are all pretty much in charge.
Right. There was a lot of back and forth and marrying between the two countries to stave off war and blah blah blah
and the armor looks pretty good. I mean,
I mean if it's Ridley Scott, he's like Gladiator and the Robin Hood. He's pretty good about accurate
Kingdom of Heaven.
The
armor's really good in Kingdom of Heaven. The garb's really good in Kingdom of Heaven. The garb looks pretty good here.
Yeah.
And the idea of having this conversation of a woman posting claims of a sexual assault in the 14th, 15th century.
Right.
And when men have control of everything.
Yeah.
Specifically the church.
And the church, yeah.
Specifically the church has control of everything.
Right.
And that's run by men and stuff like that.
Right. And the woman's always wrong. Like in this situation, you know, she's obviously lying and he's obviously telling the truth. And that's just how it is. Whether it's true or not, which most of the time it was not true, that he was,
but he's the honorable man who is a knight or is of influence of a major family or whatever.
Yeah.
You're going to side with him every time.
Yeah.
Unless she's somebody of great stature.
Right.
Marie Antoinette, Eleanor of Normandy, like that kind of. You're not going to go against them, but those were very few and.
Right.
Marie Antoinette,
and this is
a little bit late, but whatever.
That's way. And this is also in the time period where armor changed, right? So it's that heavy, thick. You're jousting. Really, the only thing knights had to do was to joust, to go around and earn money to take care of their armor and their squires. There really wasn't any. They weren't running around in battle in that kind of armor.
Yeah.
It's right before gunpowder started and that kind of thing. So, this will be interesting to
interesting to have the backdrop of the tournament scene in Europe be the underlying kind of thing, because a lot of those tournaments were for in the grand scheme of things were for show. I mean, they were to keep the knights in shape.
Yeah.
But
and like I said, to pay for their army, to help their armor, and to help them pay for their squires, and they would go around from town to town like traveling shows and put on these, like in Knight's Tale, like, okay, there's a lot of the Knight's Tale that's not periodly accurate at all, but the fact that he went around from tournament to tournament was what they did during this time period.
But the idea of asking for a duel, not actually just going and doing it, like getting permission and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
because tournaments in this point in time were, like I said, were show, but they weren't really bloody affairs. I mean, accidents happen and stuff like that, but have an actual duel to the death was not really a thing, especially when you're having the discussion of saving the honor of your loved one, which is
kind of the Arthurian story in that, Arthur held a tournament because Benevere was saying that Guinevere and Lancelot were having an affair. And so they held a tournament.
The other interesting thing about this particular movie is the screenwriters are Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and Nicole
Holofcener. There's C's and F's in places they shouldn't be in that last name.
She wrote for Sex and the City, Gilmore Girls, 6 Feet Under. She's also directed some stuff, so she's able to bring in a female perspective
right.
with this story, because it's going to be all around what happens to Jodie's character and stuff like that.
Right.
To have a female voice in the room, but also we all know Matt and Ben can write. Like they are really good screenwriters, and so having them, on the three of them on this script, and then giving it to Ridley Scott, and Ridley Scott's doing his Ridley Scott thing, which is right in our wheelhouse. He's one of our top 5 probably directors out there. I really appreciate it. My one absolute total critique, I'll get over it at some point in time in my life. Medieval Europe is always shown in grays. It's always filmed in grays. It's always overcast. It's always snowy. It's always
rainy.
It's the color palette of the costumes are always muted and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's not entirely how it was.
Right.
Now, when we find something nowadays, a manuscript, a piece of clothing or whatever, the colors are all muted and faded with time and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it didn't snow for the entire 13th, 14th, and 15th century, or rain, or whatever. There was actually sunshine.
Yeah.
But it's always depicted in this to give this sense of despair,
drudgery,
and everything.
And I get that. It's a visual representation of, like just unsanitary circumstances because, the mud and stuff and there's a misconception that the costuming, unless you were super rich, didn't have any color, but that's not true. I mean, they've been able to prove that pink is actually a period color, right? And you can go out and pick berries and have reds and blues. You just couldn't wear purple because that was for royalty.
The royal color,
and obviously you're not going to have gold threaded stitching and that kind of thing
unless you were the king or the queen or
just everyday people.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a visual representation of kind of the mood. It was still the Dark Ages or coming out of the Dark Ages.
We're not quite to the Renaissance yet. It's still kind
of... the 15s, 16s is when we're getting into the Renaissance. So the 14s, you're still just coming out of the, and the oppression of the crown and the oppression of the church and the oppression of, obviously, men over women. And it's, it just feels the misconception, but I get it.
One of the reasons we love Knight's Tale for 1,000 different reasons, but one of the reasons we love that movie is because it is so bright.
Yeah. And
the tournament season would have been held during the summer. So if we're in the tournament season here and it's all in the snow and dreary, it's like, okay, those are rainy days, but like it's just a complaint that I have about medieval movies. It's just a thing that they do. I understand all of the visual storytelling that you're doing with it. I want to see a properly done medieval movie.
Yeah.
And now we're getting Green Knight later in the year too, which is more of a medieval fantasy story.
Yeah.
And so that's going to have a very different look, a very different color palette, very different
feel
to it and stuff. But
was it King Arthur? The one with Clive Owen?
It was brighter.
It was brighter.
Yeah, that one, and we like that one too. But like even like the stuff that's filmed in the UK in the UK in Kingdom of Heaven or France in Kingdom of Heaven has the same kind of dreary feel to it.
Yeah, but then once they go to
the Middle
Jerusalem,
East, and stuff
then
like
it's
that,
very
then it's
bright
very bright because they get no rain there. It's kind of like Arizona. So I think overall, I'm excited about this because of everybody involved. It's a time period we really love, and I just want to see Matt Damon and Ben and Adam Driver just sword fight for 4.5 hours. Like I'm down.
I'm interested in why they decided to dye Ben Affleck's hair blonde.
Well, if it's based on true historical characters, that particular person might have been known for being fair of hair or whatever.
Yeah.
To use a Game of Thrones.
Right.
Or yellow of hair.
He was Nordic of descent.
Yeah. Especially in this part of the world, like, blonde hair wasn't a big thing, so you would have been very, and not outcast, but you would have been very obvious in a crowd if you showed up and you have blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people in this time period would have had a darker version of blonde or black hair, depending on where they were from the Mediterranean, Spanish influences and stuff like that and stuff. So we'll do a historical dissertation on another video. So that is our thoughts and our reaction to The Last Duel, coming to theaters, and I think it's October?
October, yeah.
So let us know what you thought of this trailer and our reaction to it in the comments down below. Please be nice. That is a requirement around here. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, follow us on all the social media stuff, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and TikTok. You whippersnappers. And until next time, cult members, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.